Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to the Art Table for July of 2024, this time featuring the talented photographer, Viana. Now, I will not be sharing any of Viana's social or personal details because she's a very private person, and she's asked me not to. So with that being said, instead of shouting out her social medias or doing anything of that, I will be shouting out her friend's store, Koala D Krafts. Now, I will leave a link to Koala's store in the description down below, but please be aware she is, at the time of this recording, 9 weeks away from giving birth and therefore will be stopping production of her products in July. So at the time this video goes up, it'll probably be shut down until about November. Now, I will be doing a quick video on Koala's crafts in November when her store is back open. You know, it's a little more relevant and she's able to fulfill the orders. But she does a lot of really cool custom keepsakes that you can either, keep or give as gifts to loved ones, such as tumblers, mugs, blankets, shirts, keychains, phone cases, and a few other things. Now, again, she will have her own dedicated video in November when it is more relevant for those kinds of things to be advertised, but I did want to shout her out here at Viana's request. So please, if you are interested in Viana's photography, just comment on the video, tell her you like it, and then we'll move on. She does not want to be contacted and does not do any kinds of commission work, so I won't be putting any links in the description outside of Koala D Krafts like I normally would. I also want to stress that I am not a photographer and cannot speak to any of the techniques of photography, so much of my commentary may be very short, and this is not a commentary on the quality of her photos, just my own ignorance at play. So with that being said, let's get into the video. I wanted to start out with this picture because it's one of the more simple yet elegant ones that I've seen. It demonstrates the beauty that can come from the simplest aspects of nature and is made even more beautiful by the framing of the hole in the wall. That speaks to Viana's talent for finding the right angle to help frame these sorts of things in a wonderful manner. It demonstrates the different perspective can drastically change how we look at the world, while also reinforcing that it takes skill and intuition to find these sorts of angles and compositions. It feels like this was taken to show the light within the darkness, the beauty of nature surrounded by the cold stone of civilization. Additionally, it shows a great sense of timing because the cherry blossoms do not show this white color for very long, and it means it had to be taken at just that perfect moment. Following that, this lake is gorgeous and it made even more beautiful by the way she framed it and made it shine, with a wonderful foliage in both the foreground and the background. Even the use of the soft orange filter helps to give it a more relaxing and warm feeling. It feels like the right decision to create a calm and relaxed atmosphere. Again, it shows how finding the right frame is important. She was able to find a good angle and adjust it to create that natural border around the whole picture. It is also a lovely reminder that there's always a sense of beauty despite the overwhelming capitalism and cityscape that is slowly taking over. Now, I selected this photo of what was captioned as an Italian village because it's amazing in how it demonstrates her focus of the camera properly. The small details from blades of grass to the clouds overhead. She also uses the road direction very well to lead the eye from the bottom along the center up to the top of the photo, encouraging the viewer to actually take in and look at everything present. This spot also feels great for capturing the feeling of a seemingly small town. The quiet inlet just above the center creates a cozy feeling of just a nice, relaxing day where nothing really happens in this village. It's just every day is kind of the same, day in, day out. It's that sense of consistency that not a lot of us have in life. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is one I chose because it gave me a really faintly eerie feeling at the potential of seeing these faces late at night. Imagine walking down a dark street and turning the corner to see this. I think that's the most disturbing part. The fact that they have just such seemingly innocent smiles and they're presented in the right lighting. Now, I don't know if Viana took the photo late at night or if she used a filter on the photo to make it look just that much more ominous, but it does look a little more like a lower natural lighting. And the ways that they're just kind of tilted ever so slightly forward makes it look like they're a pair of uncanny people walking behind the bush. The shapes definitely don't help because they give that vague impression of a human silhouette. I selected this one because I thought it was an amazing view. Unfortunately, I'm not sure where these mountains are located, and I can see the small details of the rolling hills off in the distance to the left of center. And I can even see other mountains obscured by fog and distance in the background. It's a majority of photos like this that remind me the world is just so vast. There are millions of kilometers, yes, kilometers, miles do not exist in Canadian lingo, in dozens of countries that are yet to be explored by me and so many others. So witnessing these sorts of sights is breathtaking. It also makes me realize where I am in the world, just how much is around me that I have yet to explore, and that I really hope to do so. I chose this one because it looks kind of funny. Now, I am again not sure where this is from, but the small train looks like it carries actual people, but has the same model as a tiny set that you'd find in someone's basement. This feels like one of those skills that a photographer needs: good timing to capture the perfect shot, understanding the right place to take the picture from, knowing how to frame it so the subject is accurately captured, kind of centered. I think this is the biggest difference between the work that Viana does versus other artists that I featured, because with created works, they have so much more control over what to portray. With photography, it's about capturing real life. I mean, you can't control the situation necessarily. You can't always decide when and where people are going to be, what kind of lighting you're going to have. There are just those moments in life that you need to capture. It can only be done so once, and if you miss that time, if you don't have that angle, you're never going to get that again. So it's a much more nerve-wracking endeavor when I think about it. Speaking of real life, I wanted to show this picture of these adorable kitties. Obviously, I've avoided showing anything with people or faces to protect privacy, so this was the only one that I wanted to show with living creatures. Again, it speaks to the challenge of taking pictures. You don't have control of the subject, especially when it's something as mobile as a cat. Now, I've seen this cafe, and at times, let me tell you, finding all these cats in one place is rare, as they're allowed to wander around freely. Meaning that most of them like to run around and do their own thing outside of this picture. I have never seen them all together in one place. It's a very cute photo, and I can't imagine how quick she would have had to be to get this shot, because sometimes they will stay in one spot for a few minutes, and other times it's only a few seconds. Now, I selected this photo because to me, it represents a very personal moment for Viana. Now, I have not known her for very long, and so I don't know the story behind this photo, but it feels like it has some importance. It feels like one of those things where you go on a once-in-a-lifetime adventure with people that you may never see again, and you're not necessarily okay with it, but you're comfortable with the idea. Like, you're at peace with the idea because you have this memory, you have this experience that you'll never be able to recreate, but it's just so important in that moment that you have to capture it, that you'll never forget it for the rest of your life, even if, again, you never see these people. I have no idea what this flag is meant to be made out of or what had happened to it, because it looks like it's been through the ringer, but it felt like a very personal moment, a very important one, and it feels like a moment of accomplishment, which I think was fantastic. Now, I don't know where this lake picture is from, but it does look really nice, and I can't imagine how high up she'd have to be to, properly frame that and get so much of it, especially with kind of that gentle fog rolling off the surface, going into just a really kind of melancholy gray sky. This doesn't feel like it's meant to be the super happy, cozy picture. This feels like it was just very much capturing that feeling of blasé, just very gray, so to speak, but not that heavy kind of depressing gray, just a very middle of the road, very mellow gray, very soft gray, which was really nice. And finally, we get to what is arguably my favorite piece, collection, however you want to phrase it, of everything that I've seen of the photos she shared with me. That was a trifold picture. I'm hoping I'm using that correctly, but a 3-picture setup, I really don't know the right word for this, I'm so sorry, of this gorgeous, I think it's a rice paddy field or just a mountain range terrace, that's the word I'm looking for. And now I don't know where this is located, but again, it's absolutely breathtaking. And this was, I'm not gonna lie, one of the first pieces, because I had asked Viana if I could, showcase her photography. She said yes, but again, not sharing socials, that's her own business. this was the piece that I knew I wanted to end the video with because it was just so incredible. And the fact that she had to split it up into 3 even photographs demonstrates just how wide, just how vast this area was, that she felt she needed to capture all of it. I wish I could visit some of these places, and I mean, there's a lot of places in the world that I still want to see, but it's when I see photos like this that I can't imagine what it's like to actually experience those sights and be there. I say this as I'm living in one of the most beautiful countries in the world that I barely leave my house. I know Kat's hearing this right now, and it probably... So let this be a reminder to you watching at home, and definitely to me, to just get out and explore the natural beauty of what's around you, because you might be surprised by what you find. With that all being said, thank you, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond for being here, for sticking around through this one. I again apologize about my lack of photography, vocabulary, and knowledge as to what is needed for these kinds of things or how to properly comment on them. Viana does amazing work. I will not be sharing any of her socials, nor will I be linking anything like that, but do check out Koala D Krafts when her store reopens back in November, and I wish her all the best with childbirth and hope that everything goes smoothly. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.